What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto. We are talking about Bitcoin today, and we'll get into the daily close here in a second. I do want to point out a couple things, actually, while we're here on the daily. That Bitcoin did close below the prices necessary to bring the RSI below the 50, so we do have that. It is completely possible that if this day closes green, that this could be a slight poke below the 50 and really just a bounce off the 50. So I'm not too excited yet, but generally whenever we get these small pumps above the 50 that are short-lived, we stay above the 50 for a small time in the RSI, small amount of time on the RSI, and then we come back below the 50. Generally, we see a drop from top to bottom. We see a drop of about 14%, at least based off the last 12 iterations, taking out a couple outliers. If we included the outliers, it would actually be closer to an 18.3% drop. That'd be around 23,300. And I'm looking more 24.5 in the immediate term time frame. When I say immediate term, I mean this week, man. It's Wednesday today, right? It's Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. So before Friday, or maybe even on Friday, I would expect that we are going to be a few $1,000s lower, if not at least $2,500 lower. That's my expectation. But let's we'll come back to that. Let's look at the hourly. On the hourly, we are rejecting the 50 on the long-term RSI. This is the 123 RSI, and it is reacting beautifully with the 123 MA. Here you can see it, 123 MA, 123 RSI. We rejected the 123 just perfectly. Man, this is not a good-looking candle, honestly. There's not a whole lot of volume on the 1 hour, so this isn't like too convincing. There is 7 minutes left in this candle, though, so that's not necessarily a good look. Rejecting the 50 here, rejecting the 50 on the smaller term time frame. Yeah, I would say this looks like it wants to push for newer lows for sure, lower lows. From bottom to top here, a very small fib, but in the very short term, in the coming hours, like maybe even an hour to 4 hours, I'd say, an hour to 3 hours. It wouldn't surprise me if we were below 27,000, and at least 26.7 or maybe 26.5, somewhere around there. I think we're gonna go there soon, and we could just keep blasting right through it. But the dump is commencing, man. It really is commencing. And if we go to the 4 hour time frame. We're above the purple line right now. It looks like it's posture. Oh, that's another thing. On the 1 hour, this purple line does look like it wants to come down. We just had this kind of fake move up and started to look bullish, but the fact that it's turning down, I think this is a sign, rejecting the 123, rejecting the 50 here on the long-term RSI. I think this is a sign that the downtrend is resuming. And I think we can see that with the fact that, there was very little volume on the way up. In fact, the most volume was at the top where this very bearish-looking candle was. I say bearish because it was at the top, and most of it was a wick. So that means most of the volume came from moving this candle down before it closed. No volume on the way up. In fact, we have more volume on the way down. That means, there's more interest in seeing it go down is what that tells me. Anyways, let's look at the 4 hour. Let's get into the 4 hour. We are above the price right now, and anytime that we're above the purple line, the price is above the purple line. Anytime we're above the 123 MA, but the RSI is below the 50, I generally lean to the automatic assumption that price will go back below this, and it looks like it wants to. It really does look like it wants to. We have 3 hours left in this 4 hour candle, so who knows, anything can happen, but this is a pretty bad candle. It looks like it wants to bearishly engulf, and when we get that, it's just the beginnings of like bigger moves down. Kind of rejected the 50 area here. Didn't really show any strength here on the art. This looks like it wants to go oversold to me. We get our strongest moves down when we get into the oversold zone. So just to put that in perspective, if you thought this move was strong, let's just measure, from top to bottom here. Well, this was before we even got into the oversold zone. So when we get into the oversold zone from top to bottom, I would expect that we're going to see a greater drop than this. This would put us down around 26.2. So I would expect more than that. I would expect, actually, if this plays out the way I think it's going to, over the next day to 2 days, we could drop below this low here. And if we drop below that low, it might be a straight dumpster until we see our next level of support. So in the next day to 2 days, we might see a 9 to 10% drop. Or greater, honestly. Like this could be a 10% drop day, 5% drop tomorrow, something like that. It could be a 14% drop day. I don't know. but today or tomorrow are looking like they want to be. And in my opinion, we're gonna drop. We're gonna drop pretty hard. This is kind of crazy to look at. It's what I'm assuming, because we've already double bottomed off to this area. If we were to break, right, the whole premise that we got was from, let's see, from here, right, this measurement of this drop down, right, this was coming from being overbought into this area. We didn't even get oversold. We get our biggest moves when we're oversold. This RSI looks like it wants to be oversold. So when we do that from top to bottom of this move, you know, where the RSI is turning around and we get oversold, I would expect a bigger drop than this. So this drop right here automatically put us here. So if we had a bigger drop just by 1%, right, 5.33, just by 1%, we had a bigger drop, that would put us around these lows. I would expect that we break these lows. So in that line of thinking, you know, the next area of support would be around 24,000, and that would put us at essentially like a 10 to 12% drop in today or tomorrow, you know, over the next 2 days. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame. There's 6 candles per day, so I could totally believe that this move happens in the next 6 to 12 candles. And if that happens, we get a drop like that. Well, on the daily, you know, we're looking at the daily. If we get a drop that's like 12% from the high, right? I guess that would have been 12% from this high here. Maybe this high. I don't know. Basically, we would have broken up above the 50 for a short amount of time, coming back below it. Anytime we've seen that, we've gotten a minimum or an average of about 13% of a drop. And, you know, from current prices, I don't know, from the opening of today, that's like a 10%. Yeah, we could literally see that today. This average drop could happen today. And it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't happen. Maybe we drop, only like to here today, you know, from open to close, we drop 2%. That's possible too. But I think we're in the workings of stronger downside moves to come in the next 24 to 48 hours, genuinely. And being below this, getting further away from this 50 RSI, proving that this isn't a bounce just below the 50, will, in my opinion, only confirm that we are going to have something like, you know, something of a drop that is around like these price levels. And if that happens, if we go that low, then on the weekly, this RSI is below the 50, and this is the Mac Daddy of them all, because when that RSI goes below the 50, it is going to take anywhere from basically like 5 to maybe 10 weeks to go to a low that's 52% from the high. 52%, by the way, would be down here at about 14,800, and that's the minimum expectation that I have. I think it's actually going to go lower than this. How much lower, I don't know, but in a very short amount of time. I'm talking about, when I say this, I mean the middle of June to the earliest parts of July. I was saying earlier that it could go as far as August, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I would more expect that we're going to get this low literally the week of the 26th of June. That's the start of the week, if not the first week of July. One of those weeks, I would bet that we get this low, a 52% drop in that time. The main reason is if we go from top to about 12 bars out, right? That's the beginning week of July, 12 bars out. And we look anytime that we've had this similar kind of circumstance where we've gone from overbought to being below the 50, which we're not there yet, but if we get there, this is what it's going to look like from a time perspective. You know, overbought below the 50. If we take the top here, we go to the low, that took 11 bars. You know, not that this counts, but this went above the 50 and it came back below. You know, from top, I am going to throw this in here just to show you that from top to bottom, that took 11 bars. And again, this one didn't even go from overbought to 50, but again, from top to bottom, that took 14 bars, you know, and really this big drop of a candle happened 12 bars later. So, right, you can see where I'm getting my time frame from. You know, you want to measure this one too. This was overbought to under the 50, kind of like what I'm referencing now. From this to the bottom, that was 10 bars. You know, overbought to the below the 50 from top to bottom, that was, you know, I guess, yeah, we were overbought there still. So from there, top to bottom, 15 bars. You know, with the big drop happening, you guessed it, at 11 bars. And we just moved sideways for a little bit later. You know, that could be an 11 bar count. But the main thing is the big drop seems to happen before, or if not on, the 11th candle from the top. That's a thing. And right now, we can keep going back, and it's, you know, there's one that's like 8 bars, and there's some that are a little bit longer. But for, you know, this is on the weekly scale. Prices back here that I just measured, that was back from 2019. So this is going back like 4 years of price action, right? So, or at least 3.5 years. So what I'm trying to get at is we are already on week 7. If we were to go to week 11, that would put us still in the week of June, or still in the month of June. So I would expect in the next week to 4 weeks that we will see, and I don't think it'll happen in a week. I think it will happen closer to 4 weeks, maybe longer than that. It could happen. It could happen sooner than that. But I would expect that Bitcoin is going to be below the price of its previous low. I think it would be below 15,000. It's going to happen fast, man. It's really going to happen fast. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. And, you know, it might not be a straight shot down. Maybe, you know, in like 2 weeks we come like down here, and then we have like 3 weeks of upside, and then 2 more weeks down or something like that. I don't know. That puts us in August the way I have it drawn, but I don't know if it'll happen exactly like that. I'm just, you know, I'm more of referring to the past, seeing what's happened there and comparing it to now. We've been moving sideways. There's really no interest in pushing the price up. Everybody's bullish and nothing's happening. So I think once the price starts to dump, a lot of people are gonna panic sell. That's what I'm thinking. And long story short, that's kind of what I got for you today. I do wanna point this out again on the daily. We did have a close. You know, this is clearly, in my opinion, it's becoming more evident as the days go on. But this was a bull trap. This was a bull trap. It happened over the weekend. There was no volume to follow through. Everyone was so bullish on this pump. And look at the day. Look at the percentage, right? It was only 4.4%. That's not a bullish pump, man. Sadly, that's the second biggest candle we've seen, you know, in over a month. April 19th, right? Yeah, so May, over a month. I mean, in this whole time, since March, that's the second biggest candle we've seen. And that's the sad thing, is the markets are bored. Everything's going sideways. So this kind of move over the weekend with low volume, and it looks like a big pump because it's the second biggest candle we've seen since March. It's really not a big candle. We forget what big candles look like. These are big candles, right? These are big candles. You know, we forget. We haven't seen this in a while. We haven't seen this since, I mean, literally the last one was the middle of March. It's April, May, you know, we're almost 3 months away from that. So I guess 2.5 months away from that, technically. So just all of that together really tells me that this was a fake move to the upside. And I think as the days go on, we're just, price action's just proving that right. Being below the 50 here, I would expect at least a 13% pump or a dump from top to bottom. I said 13, but I mean a 14%. It was closer to 14. And with the fact that we're breaking out of this range, everything that I'm giving you is the bare minimum estimate. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more dramatic than this. We would be breaking out of this range that we've been in for months now. And generally, you know, it would be the start of breaking out of this whole kind of formation that we've been in for about a year, the better part of a year. You know, this could be the start of us breaking out of this entire formation. Like literally, this could be it right now. I wonder if we can draw any lines to like, it's ugly, man. I don't know what kind of pattern this is, if it is a pattern. Maybe on the weekly it's more determinate. It kind of looks like it could be a wedge, right? That could be a wedge. Tops here, right? Maybe it's even like this, and this was a fake out. I don't know. Top there. From the bottom here, let's just go here. I don't know, something like that. It could be, you know, the wedge could be like this. You really want to make it fit in the lines. That's cool. Like right there, sure, you're nitpicking. In my opinion, it's better to use the actual lows. In my opinion, this could be just like a little fake out. It doesn't have to be super tight. That's why I drew it like this. We could be in a wedge. We could be in some kind of wedge. It's a really ugly looking wedge. And the market, you know, we're in really undecisive times. People aren't sure about the world economy and what's going to happen, you know, with the U.S. debt ceiling, who's going to be president, the Russia-Ukraine war, you know, COVID vaccines are expiring. I don't know. Like the world's in a state of like unknowing and hesitantness, and I think falling outside of these lines, not having a super tight pattern like we normally see, like this one over here, not having a super tight pattern, to me it's to be expected. But yeah, like this one here, we had this was a nice kind of tight channel, very well respected till we broke out of it. I know it's all the same colors there, but if you can follow it, that's great. If not, it's okay. Main thing I wanted to say was I think we are in the beginning of breaking out of this kind of weird little sideways pattern we've been in, and once you start breaking out of a price range, you get big moves to follow it, a lot of volume to follow it. We haven't seen volume in a while, so it would be nice on these moves down to see volume starting to come back. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm really serious, man, that we are going to see a 52% drop before July. If not before August, but I would more expect it before July now. And if not that low, definitely below this low, like definitely below that low. And if we're getting lower lows here, that would be, in my opinion, more convincing that we are going to get lows below here. And that's just going to verify what I've been saying for the past like month now, or week now, or 2 weeks now, that we are still in a bear market. We're still in a bear market. Yeah, I think it's very easy to deny it now. It's very easy to say that we're not in a bear market. Clearly, we're in the start of a bull market. It's easy to say that. Once we get below here, it'll be harder to say that. And once we've taken this low out, I think it will be undeniable. I know it will be undeniable that we're still in a bear market. And when that happens, I don't think that's going to be the end of the bear market. I think it will continue. Maybe we get a little pump up at the time, but I think it will continue. I don't think it stops there. I am expecting big moves to happen soon, so we'll see if I'm right. But today, tomorrow, between the 2 days, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dropped 10% from here, which, by the way, again, from current price, puts it down around 24,300. And let's make it lower, like around there where the lows are, where these areas of support are. About an 11% dump around 24K. I do believe Bitcoin will be around there in the next 2 days. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but there's a lot of things happening right now that just work in with that time frame. So that's all I got. I just feel like I'm rambling at this point. If you like the video, you want to leave a like and subscribe for more, that'd be great. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Leaving likes is really nice, just saying. If you have the time, it just takes a little click. I think that helps with getting my videos out there. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye. Adios. I don't mean to say adios so much, man. It's just like a habit. Take care. Peace out.